shot by Buddha. Facebook Gaming in the building.
Into the end zone! Five Nation, stand up!
Who we think is going to start for the Tennessee Titans after week 1 of the preseason. It's not way too early at this point, but I would say early shot of who we think the projected starters will be come week 1 against the Jets. Obviously, Dan Moore at left tackle. Obviously, J.C. Latham at right tackle. Obviously, Peter Skoronski at left guard. At center, I think it's going to be Slotman. I don't think Pat Coogan, the standout center from Indiana that we drafted, I don't think he's done enough. But I think he has done enough to say, let's groom him for our center in the future to take a shot at. Right guard, this has been the topic since the beginning of the end of last year. Were they going to try to bring back Zeitler? Volson they brought in. Jackson Slater was drafted last year. They've had a lot of guys, but right now I think the fan base is pretty much set on thinking that Fernando Carmona is going to win the right guard role. He's going to make mistakes, but I'd rather have a big, mean, nasty right guard that's young than throw some journeymen that haven't proven they can hold down and start a spot. So this is how I think the offensive line is gonna look as we start. Tight end, you seen the screenplay to Gunnar Helm. I think Gunnar Helm and Daniel Bellinger are gonna be tight end 1 and 2. And obviously at wide receiver, Carnell Tate, the top 5 draft pick, who didn't have a single catch in the preseason game, is going to be wide receiver 1. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is wide receiver 2. And I think you wind up having Calvin Ridley play a move role where it's interchangeable between him and Wan'Dale. With your backup guys being Aomaner and DK. I think the reason why Cam and Wan'Dale have chemistry, that Ridley and Wan'Dale I think will both be in motion a lot as the season goes. You already see them try to get bubble screens to Wan'Dale. Healthy Calvin Ridley looked healthy out there in the past game, and he looked like if you get him matched up on somebody's second or third corner, he still got that burst and route running to get open on those end cutting routes where he can run after the catch. He still got that speed, but I think this is how the receiving core will look, and the rest of it still has a little time. Now, we know the Tennessee Titans do not run fullbacks. They haven't for a long time. But I think the rookie Jaren Kanak and Kalel Mullings, seeing that both of these guys were converted linebackers to a tight end and converted linebacker to running back, I think these two guys will be special teamers on the punt team, the kickoff team. I think those will be your guys that's in coverage. If Kalel Mullins is hurt, I see them maybe keeping Julius Chestnut as a secondary returner in certain games. But I think Julius Chestnut will find himself on the practice squad. So I think this is what they'll do at fullback. But we're going to move these. Obviously, Cam Ward is quarterback 1. Trubisky is quarterback 2. But running back, he scored a touchdown. Guys had 1,000 yards in the last 4 seasons that he's been healthy. Tony Pollard, and then I think Tyjae Spears is your backup running back. Now, here's the deal. Nick Singleton is the third, and I think they did him a disservice running him into a brick wall in the game against the Niners. I would like to see them get Nick Singleton the ball in like non-obvious running into a brick wall type of situations. The thing is, Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears are both on contract years. I don't think either one of these guys will be back on the Titans next season. So you really have to find a way to get and hope that halfway through the season that Nick Singleton can push himself higher up on this depth chart as the season goes on. She was good. Yeah, really in the slides for sure, deadly. So I think this is how your offense will look with your starters when they come out week 1 against the Jets. I think this is what we're going to see. I think this is what we're going to see come week 1, right? Let's name this week 1 starters. All right, and then on defense, we'll skip defense and go to special teams. Obviously, it's Tommy Townsend. Obviously, Joey Sly, who struggled in preseason, who they brought in kickers to challenge him, wound up going 4 for 4 and being the MVP of the game the other day, having four kicks, one for almost 60 yards. Guy went 100% on kicks. That is your special teams unit with Chimere Dike as your return man. There was an All-Pro last year as a rookie. So I think this is your special teams. Right? Now let's go to defense. He said X or Bryce is the question for that last spot. I like to see Restrepo. I like to see Restrepo have that spot. The Tennessee Titans, let me say it again. The Tennessee Titans have to get out of this mode of saying we're keeping somebody on the roster because this dude is a good punt gunner. We need somebody who's on the roster because they catch footballs. I don't want to see any more receivers on the Titans. We have enough defensive backs that we have question marks about to be spending roster spots on offense for guys who can cover punts. We should be aiming to punt less. All right. So let's go to defense. Hope he stays healthy this season. Kevin Winston Jr. at free. Hook. Hope he has a better season at strong safety. He was guarding grass a couple of times out there Sunday. Obviously, Alontae Taylor. And Cordell Flott are your two outside corners, and Marcus Harris is your starting slot corner, who I really like. Defensive tackle, obviously Jeffrey Simmons, John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson. And if you looked out there, they started Elliott because Franklin Myers didn't play, but Keldrick Falk was out there a lot with the ones. This is a good question. Do you think it's going to be Femi who played well, or do you think it's going to be Keldrick Falk who gets to play that other edge? That's a good question. So we're going to put both of these guys here, and then we're going to make our decision in a minute. Femi was getting upfield and making plays. And Keldrick Falk fits the mold. I do think that if we're talking about week 1, unless Keldrick Falk does something crazy, I would think that Femi will hold down, because last year to start the season, Femi was really starting to come into his own, setting a hard edge. And in that wide 9, how he stopped that misdirection play, you really need somebody that's learning and growing at that edge. Linebacker, a guy who we all love, James Williams. Guy was a safety at Miami in college, converted into a linebacker on the Titans, and now on his second defense in the NFL, starting to really show what he can do at that Sam linebacker. Weak linebacker. Cedric Gray, obviously one of the league's top tacklers last year. And obviously at middle backer, we had Cody Barton, who I think is going to start. But when you see Cody Barton fly up in the hole and miss tackles, you really got to start thinking about, in this preseason, we want to see more of this guy. I want to see more Anthony Hill Jr. Like, I think that Cody Barton would start day one, but I would really like to see a world where Anthony Hill Jr. Gets to take that starting role. And it's only going to be with reps, because one thing about Cody Barton, he led the team in interceptions last year. He's not ever going to be the guy that flies up in the hole and hits the ball carrier or the quarterback. But as for right now, until Anthony Hill Jr. is 100% up to speed to run that middle backer, I could see Cody Barton starting week one. But this how the Titans starting defense is I think day one is going to start. Very, very, very good questions about who's going to play these backup roles, right? Keldrick Falk obviously is going to be there. Jacob Martin is going to be. I would venture to say that it would probably match more like this. Jacob Martin would rotate Jermaine Johnson, and Keldrick Falk would rotate Femi. As for right now, then obviously Elliott and Solomon Thomas, unless Jackie Slater, the rookie, does something crazy to push one of these two guys. Like, I think that's how that will look. You got Diabate. We want to see a little bit more of him. Obviously, you got Tony Adams, who plays well as a spell role, and then Kendall Brooks will be the backup safeties. But I think this is how the depth will look right now. He didn't play week one, but Josh Williams will be the next man up at corner, rotating in. And then this where it gets scary, chat. But we're talking about Keydre Callaghan, Micah Robinson. Like bro, it just looks bad right there once you get past the first 3 or 4 guys at corner. He said Daquan making the roster. Oh, CD, what up? So like this is how I think the depth will pan out. But as for right now, I think if we're going day one starters, I think this is how the defense is gonna come and fare out. This is how I think the defense is gonna fare out day one. He said play key up the saxophone music. But that's why I say, like, now tell me, chat, like, tell me you wouldn't feel better if they did this. You can't tell me you wouldn't feel better if they did this. Tell me you wouldn't feel better if they did this. Marcus Harris could play outside or in. Josh Williams as your other backup. And you got Kenny Moore in the slot with Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott. You can't tell me this wouldn't make you sleep a little bit better tonight if they did something like this at that position, right? You can't tell me you wouldn't feel a little bit better on the defense if they did something like that. But as of right now, we got, and I think Marcus Harris is going to be good in time, but I do want to add more depth. But I think these are your starting offense and defense for the Tennessee Titans week 1 against the Jets. I do think that's how it's going to look. I think I'm liking what I'm seeing. Carmona O-line is getting set, but the problem ain't the starters. Obviously, what I just went over and showed y'all visually. I'm a visual person. I like y'all to see it visually. I'm really, really, really feeling like we have to work on our depth, because last year was a year where it was a revolving door at certain positions, at defensive back and offensive line. We cannot afford in the first year of our new coaching staff with Saleh and Dabo, and year 2 of Cam Ward, which is a really big show improved year of what we expect out of Cam Ward, to roll out there with lack of depth. So we have set better depth in certain positions, but we need depth across the board for the Titans to be respected and to be taken serious as a real competitive football team that can get to a primetime football game. Forget the playoffs. Can we get a primetime game? All right. So now, I know I usually answer questions on the fly, but now for y'all questions or anything that y'all wanted to ask, because I wanted to stay on topic because when I do have topics of how I want to lay them out, that we lay them out that way. Because while y'all are getting those questions together, I would show y'all what I would do different with the roster. I'm gonna show y'all what I would do. I don't like Austin Deculus. I take Crenshaw Dixon and I groom as my backup left tackle to Dan Moore, and I go out here in free agency and I go get me a free agency, a right tackle in free agency. I take Pat Coogan would be my backup there. Boom. Cam was popping. Show every road that Tate ran. I ain't seen. I watched the tape, the breakdown of the O line and Cam Ward. I ain't got around to Tate's runs. Yeah, Corey, that I couldn't find him in the database. But Jack Conklin will be who I would put. I would go after. I would go after a free agent right tackle. I mean, yeah, Jonah Williams, Niang, Jack Conklin's out there. We had Jamarco Jones. If I ain't mistaken, Jamarco Jones was a Titan at one point. Could be wrong, but. Yep, Jamarco Jones was definitely a Titan and got hurt. I want to say JC's first year. But this is what I would do. This is what I would do right here at offense to break down defense right now. I want to see the kid from USC get some burn to maybe push Kendall Brooks for that backup safety role right there. Tony Adams is gonna lock down the other one. Diabate. I think Mausi is the special team other linebacker. Well, I'm not really concerned about that. But for sure right here, what I would be 1,000% trying to do is I'd be trying to go get Kenny Moore. You know, call me crazy. Call me crazy, but I'd definitely be trying to get Kenny Moore right there. Keldrick Falk rotating with Femi. Jacob Martin rotating with Jermaine Johnson. And then obviously we got Jordan Elliott and Solomon Thomas. Unless Jackie Slater can push one of these guys out of the way. Like I kind of see it, you know, going this direction. Truman Jones, Jalen Harrell, guys that may fill out some of the bottom of the roster, but I don't think they're that big of impact guys. But, you know, if you could bring in Kenny Moore at the slot and move Marcus Harris and Josh Williams into spill roles, I think that would improve the roster. But right now, as we sit, we got Keydrain Callaghan and Michael Robinson playing that last corner position. Football performance. Okay, I'm going to check them out. Oh, yeah. You can always come home. B. Walker, what it do? All right. So that's what I would do with the roster. Hit that subscribe, like, comment, share. Tap into the daily uploads at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you missed the live streams, you got picture in picture. And if I don't get to any questions during the live streams or the pods, drop them in the comments. I'll make it part of the weekly mailbag. If you're following on the blue, smash those reactions. I know you're OG. Hit that like, comment, share, tap into the daily content that is the shop. If you're new to the shop, you definitely should be tapped in on the green. No ads, up to 50 emotes free for just being a follower. You do not have to be a supporter to unlock picture in picture, late night streams. Follow us on Kick. We also live on Twitch. Look out for the drops, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, it's free $99 to sub to the channel once a month. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that money back in his pocket. If you don't use it on the shop, use it on another content creator that you like. I still call it Twitter, but follow us on X. We tweet back. Yo, if you missed the daily shop talks, make sure you tap in for the late night cap on the purple and the green. The Discord is always open. Outside of subs, donos, and cash apps, is also another way to support the content. That's by grabbing a trucker hat, a bandana, hoodies, the classic barbershop, Vibe Nation, right out of the official merch store on Tactic, formerly known as Geeks Unleashed. Code Buddha at checkout to get a discount.